Good afternoon, guys. Jacob Wheeler, Red Rock Roofing, standing for greatness, up here at 4177 up on Wendy's roof. Thank you so much for allowing us to do a quick roof inspection. As always, while I'm going up here on the roof, I always want to take a look first inside of your guttering system. Now, inside of this guttering system, you see the sand-like substance. This is the granules coming off of your roof. It is pretty consistent, and it is pretty thick throughout the entirety of your guttering system. This lets me know the age, wear, and tear of your roof. Next thing I want to look for is what's called drip edge. Drip edge, by code, is a 2-inch by 2-inch metal flange that should completely encapsulate your eaves. Normally, you would see it in here. It would be a 2-inch going down and then 2-inch going underneath the roofing system here to completely encapsulate these eaves and rakes from any kind of wind-driven rain. Unfortunately, you do not have that right now. It may not have been code at the time, but it is now. Just something to point out. Next thing I'm looking for is what's called collateral damage. Collateral damage is signs and indicators on soft metals that there was a hailstorm in this area. Luckily for you, a lot of your vents up here are actually very well protected, either from the soffits or that they're just a harder metal in general. So I'm not seeing any signs or indicators of a hail damage on those. However, the next thing I'm looking for is what's called spalding. Spalding is when hail hits the shingle, dislodges the granule, showing the underlayment underneath, the fiberglass underlayment. Give you guys a closer look of what something can look like without covering up the light. So if you take a look here, you can see that fiberglass coming up from above that shingle right here on the ridge. Now, traditionally, I'm looking for about 6 to 10 of these hits on any given slope in a 100 square foot area. So I am seeing quite a bit of the actual spalding up here. However, I definitely want to be completely obvious here, guys. The roof has been in better shape over the years. It's lost a lot of granules. I'm feeling a lot of heat damage up here from lack of ventilation. It's very crispy underfoot. I'm also seeing what's called silvering. Silvering specifically is when the shingle starts to get a little bit older. If you take a look as a whole here, you can see that white lines at the edge of each of these shingles. That's where the granules have completely disappeared from the edge of those shingles. So with all that being said, the hail is most certainly up here. I am seeing between 6 to 10 hits on any given slope, but the roof is on an older age, if you will. So your chances are about 50-50 with insurance, but it's definitely time to know what your options are. Before I finish this video, I do want to point out here, you are missing a singular ridge shingle or a ridge cap shingle. One of those is basically one of these here that go up where the peaks meet. I'm not seeing it up here on the bottom level. It may be up on the top level, but it's definitely something that looks and appears to come from your roof. And the last thing I want to document here is specifically the nail heads up here. If you take a look, almost every single nail head I find up here is not siliconed. The problem with that, of course, is just a great place for water to migrate into the system. So you definitely want to get that with some kind of epoxy or silicone to make sure that no water can migrate through your roofing system. As a whole, it's definitely time to know what your options are, insurance or not. But I definitely think it's a great idea to go ahead and start with insurance with this recent hailstorm. This is Jacob Wheeler, Red Rock Roofing, standing for greatness, guys. Thank you for your time, Wendy.